Hello and welcome to Celtic versus Aberdeen in the SPFL. This is the first game that Neil Lennon will not be in charge for Celtic. Now, let's check something. So, let's see how the game goes today. Celtic will be hoping to get a win. Now, this could prove rather difficult because Aberdeen are such a good side. And surprisingly, my tags actually worked there without any problem. So Celtic just now have the ball and they're 1 minute in. And this is being shown on Celtic television. So if anybody wants to watch along, you will need to install Celtic, or you need to subscribe, to Celtic television. But for the moment, it is Celtic in the... Oh, it's Celtic break free! It almost got through there to Canberra. And we see Aberdeen, and they've got the ball, and it's well defended there by Welsh. So Scott Bain's in goals today. I'll just go through the squads just whilst the players going on. So it is Celtic. It's Bain, Kenny, Welsh, Ayer, Laxalt, Turnbull, Brown, Christie, McGregor, Kamala, Edward. Aberdeen, Lewis, Considine, Taylor, Hoban, Hayes, Campbell, Ferguson, McCrory, Niall McGinn, McClellan and Kambari. So we see Celtic, Scott Bain's got the ball. And we see Kambari there, he had an opportunity but it was well dealt with there by Christopher Ayer. So we're 2 minutes in. Unfortunately, I can't even put up usually I put up a pitch view so you can see what's going on, but I couldn't find one from where I usually get it because obviously you've got to pay for these things, so they weren't showing it. But we see Scott Brown has been brought down and it's a free kick to Celtic. So Celtic are going to take this free kick. There wasn't much in it, to be honest, but it was given. I would have said that wasn't a free kick, but there we go. Sports 69. So we see Aberdeen on this end instead of getting the ball in, and it's well defended there. The young defender, Sports 69. No idea which country that's from. So it's going to be a corner here to Aberdeen in the early stages. Celtic will be looking to kick on from their defeat last week against St Mirren. Now McGinn puts the ball in and Scott Bain has to come out and save it, which he does. And he clears it away from the top corner. It was some save, by the way. But Aberdeen are still on the attack. And another great save by Scott Bain. He was equal to it. It was straight at him there by Taylor, but he still had to try and save it on the stretch, which he does. He's more than equal to it. Aberdeen won't believe that they're not ahead in this game in the first 5 minutes. 2 opportunities, but he comes across and the cross comes in. Aberdeen are looking for the second ball. which doesn't materialise, and it's going to be a free kick, I believe, for offside. It was a well taken corner kick there, by the way. Well taken. So like, share, be funny if Celtic don't win. Yeah, they could be actually. They could lose quite easily, mate. They've not exactly been on top form recently. So that's not ideal. Not ideal at all. Not at all. And Celtic go ahead. Celtic are winning. They're winning 1-0. And Aberdeen are on the attack. So, yeah. So I need to change that. Change that to 1-0 Celtic. You've got to see who scored actually. I didn't see who scored. So it was an own goal there by Hoban. It was Hoban. I was wondering if it was an own goal or not, and it was. So I was going to quickly change the. So Ian, you could be wrong, by the way. It could be a 1-0 victory to Celtic. Come on, the Celtic. Come on, the Celtic. Let me see, Aberdeen, they've got the ball and they're just passing it about, and they're back. And what they've done is they put it out for a corner. Campbell gets the ball and he couldn't quite take it. And he's popped it out there for a corner. Celtic, and if Celtic after that initial 5 minutes have been playing quite well. Just got to check something as well, actually, whilst I'm here. Just be a few seconds. Just be 1 second, I was just looking for something at the moment. I'll go back to the game. Which channel is that? Seems to be that my Celtic stream has went down, which is not good. I was watching it there on Celtic TV and seems to just went down. can't get the stream back on. I'm going to have to end it, which is unfortunate, but these are the things that happens. It's never good. It's came back on. Yeah, we go. Finally. So we're 14 minutes in, and Celtic are on the attack here. So we see Scott Brown. He's basically telling Edward, who's playing deep, to come back, and he has. And then we see the ball over to Laxalt. Laxalt is looking to get the ball in the box. Plays it back to Scott Brown. And he tries to get the ball to Edward, who's marked quite tightly there. And the ball ends up all the way back to Scott Bain. So Celtic are just looking to get this ball recycled and get the ball back up the park, which they have. It'll be interesting to see how they are going to set out after Neil Lennon's gone. But so far, like, so ball in. So far from what I've seen quite a lot of urgency. It's going to be a corner to Celtic. Quite a lot of urgency from Celtic. So we shall see if they can maintain this. And it's going to be a corner, and it's going to be Turnbull that's going to put it in the box. I don't see Edward in the box here, so he may run in late. But Edward did come in a little bit late, and he just can't get onto it. The ball's a little bit too deep to the back post, and Edward can't quite get onto it. So yeah, these are the joys of watching Celtic TV. It doesn't always stay, to be honest, but so far so good. So if it cuts off, I'm sorry. But like, share, comment, all that stuff. Yeah. And Niall McGuinn is taking the ball out. I probably should put in the comments where you can find, where you can actually find this online. Probably get a lot more views, to be honest. So there's Aberdeen. They've got the ball in midfield, and they're trying to get past this Celtic midfield that are playing quite well. They've got people there. It doesn't look very structured, but it's doing the job. And Aberdeen have the free kick, which is 17 minutes in. Celtic 1-0 up after an own goal by Aberdeen. It was Hoban that scored it. And Aberdeen were actually playing quite well in the first couple of minutes. This is also on Red TV as well, which is $13.99 a month, I believe. If anybody wants to watch it and watch along, you can watch it there, or you can always find it online if you look hard enough. Ball through to Aberdeen, and Scott Bain is able to pick it up. It was quite promising there. Then Scott Bain decides just to wait for the attacker to come onto him and then try and pass the ball out. Fortunately for him, it works, but it's not really something that you want to be doing when your team hasn't been playing that well the past few weeks and your manager's been sacked for it. No point taking risks when you don't have to. Here's Laxalt. Will he be here after next season? Will he get bought or on loan again from AC Milan? Talking of AC Milan, they drew Man United in the Europa League. Here's Turnbull, puts the ball out to on the right wing. And Edward almost gets the ball fed to him, but he's two defenders on him. Here we see Aberdeen try to break away, but they've got too many Celtic defenders back to squash the attack. Edward finally gets it, but he's got too many men on. And here we see a ball in the box, and oh, how did he miss? He's saying thank you for the ball in, but it actually missed a sitter. How can you miss from there? The ball comes in between the defender and the goalkeeper, and Kamala just cannot get it goalwards. It was a good ball in from Kenny from the right wing, and Kamala just cannot get it in. I don't understand how he could not get that in. It was easier to score than it was to miss, but he missed. That was some opportunity. They definitely came out here playing the better team. Aberdeen only turn up twice a season against Rangers. Worst sheep. Hi all. Sorry, I'm not responding. Hi Graham. Graham, can you what the comments, please? If there's any comments, because I can't quite follow it all if I'm watching the game. Bruv, thanks. If you're still there. Graham's coming back next week, by the way, for everybody in the chat. Aberdeen only turn up twice a season against Rangers. Worst sheep side in years. Celtic will still drop more points. So, Ryan McPherson, you are correct, by the way. You are correct. They only turn up when they're sheep. Just wave 1-0. Hi everybody that's tuned in, by the way. Much appreciated. I know the game's on Celtic TV and Red TV. If you want to watch along, suppose you could always find it online as well if you find it on there. Upper. Hi, exit. Waxall puts the ball in. Oh! Edward goes for the shot and Kamala takes it away from him. And then Kamala just brings the ball back out and plays it all the way back to the midfield. Edward is not going to be happy with that. He's teed up. He's about to release his left foot. He's about to pull the trigger, and Kamala just comes in and takes it off him. Oh, I tell you, that's you can't. That was that was. I can see why Edward isn't too happy with that, because that should have been 2-0. But here's Aberdeen again, and again they've lost possession to Celtic. Why weren't Celtic playing like this under Neil Lennon? That's the question. And Graham, if you're still watching, you can answer this. That's the question, because they could have. Here's Laxalt on the attack. They were playing to win 10 in a row. And they decided to basically go against their manager and just not play for him. And what that did was, instead of going down in infamy, they're just being the team that's won another nine in a row, which is a fantastic achievement. Don't get me wrong, but why you would just not turn up? And we've seen that, Graham. I hope Graham's still on, by the way. George Kerr, what is the prediction? Well, 1-0 Celtic. We've seen that in the Old Firm game. Celtic just didn't turn up. They had one shot on the 83rd minute. Was that right, Graham? Oh, Graham, you better. Graham, you still there? Still there, Graham. Hoping you're still there, because that would tell me. We see McGregor, and he gets the ball, he plays a 1-2, McGregor, and he shoots, and it's saved by the goalkeeper. They are beating this defence quite easily, and there's McGregor got a Rice smile on his face. He didn't quite connect perfectly, but he's got a smile, something we just didn't see under Neil Lennon. So the question is, who do we think is going to be the next Celtic manager? Do we think it's going to be Eddie Howe? I'm going to quickly check something, so if I'm a bit quiet, that's why. Not that I'm not watching the game, because I am. Thank you for everybody that's watching, by the way. You can find us online, I think, if you look hard enough. Like, share, subscribe. I'm assuming I'm going to get several downvotes because I'm not actually showing the game, but I'm not going to be allowed to show it. I can barely watch it myself. So there's Turnbull. He's going to take the throw. In fact, he's not actually. He's gave it to Laxalt and he's going to take it. So we're 24 minutes in. Celtic have played rather well. Aberdeen played the first 5 minutes fantastically. Could have been ahead. And Celtic have been able to exploit the weaknesses in the Aberdeen defence quite easily, actually, because they're man marking Edward, and that's allowing quite a lot of players for Celtic to play the spaces. But here's Aberdeen, edge of the box, put the ball in, and there's nobody there. There was nobody in the box there to pick it up. It was just full of Celtic men. I think I'm actually going to start making you a mod, Ian. Is TSM in the chat? Because if it starts getting busy, I'm going to have to start giving somebody a mod. Ah, there you go. Graham can be the mod today. There you go. You are the mod today. So Graham is your mod today. And Aberdeen, oh! And he's came in and he's just not got to it. He's came in the back of Kenny there. And we see the ex-Celtic man. Obviously I can see his face there because I've just seen it. Who's the ex-Celtic man? I'm trying to think who it is. Hayes. Yeah, Hayes. It's always a worry when you play Hayes, by the way. He does so well. And Celtic had him and they knew that he could come in when other players were injured and he could do a job. So against him and Niall McGinn today, they know that there's two players at least in that squad that can do a job, and you've got Ferguson. So here's Celtic, and they're able to just play in and around this Aberdeen box without any issues. Aberdeen defence is so I was watching a game previously and it was like defence, like, so you got left, centre back, right back. And it was pretty rigid, but Aberdeen, it's more like a snake. They're not really set up properly at the back, and we see Celtic exploiting that. They have a couple of times. Aye. But Ian supports Rangers, so that means that that can only be bad news, because he'll be shouting and hollering when Aberdeen score, and we can't be having that. See, even up there he says, "Come on, Aberdeen." And George, who's came in, I did see your comment, by the way. Celtic win. I really don't want to comment because I've not really seen too much of Celtic. Recently, anytime I have watched them, they've been pretty dire, so it's pretty hard to judge. And now they've got they don't have a new manager. They've got John Kennedy in as an intern, but they're now playing the way they should have been playing. Don't think for one moment that they're playing like this because they've got new management and they were always capable of playing this way. They just decided to not play this way. He'll get the banter started. Well, somebody has to. There's a guy up there talking about the Ra, and then he left. Or has he left? EHXIT. Are you still there? He seems like somebody that can get the banter started. Can you imagine that walking into a Rangers pub and saying up the Ra and that? Honestly, you just start a riot. Start a riot, Joey Riot. But yeah. I should probably start sharing. We can get this online so I can get my people watching along with myself. But absolutely thank you for everybody that's came in and stuck around and commented. So we see Brown, he puts the ball forward to Laxalt's playing the 1-2. Edward releases Laxalt. Oh, Kamala does that again, and he just Is this going to be a corner to Celtic? I'm not convinced of Kamala, by the way. I'm really not convinced. He's, I don't know, he's, yeah, I think it's going to be a corner here. It is a corner. He's just not anticipating the ball. He's just not moving too quick. Anyway, the ball comes in. And it's just over the bar from Celtic. And that was Ayer. Just over the bar. So that's going to be a free kick to Aberdeen because Ayer was deemed to have infringed on McClellan. But next week, Graham is back, sitting right here. So that'll be good. And then you can get all the bants started, all the bants and the bands. Thing is with Ian would be the kind of person that would come on this channel during a Celtic game and start playing the flute like Paul Gascoigne. If you remember that, here's Aberdeen. They're up Celtic half. They're trying to pass it about. Are they going to succeed? And they did not. So we're now 30 minutes in, and it's still 1-0 to Celtic. And Aberdeen play it right out to the right wing. There's plenty of men in the box. Oh, what is he doing? Aberdeen have hardly had any possession that far up the park. The right winger plays the ball to the person in the centre, and the person in the centre lets the ball go through his legs, playing the dummy. And there was nobody for Aberdeen anywhere near that player, so it just goes straight to a Celtic player. And here's Celtic on the attack. Crazy. Here's Laxalt. He plays the ball to Edward Turnbull. Turnbull did think about shooting there, but he didn't. And the ball goes back to Edward. Edward's in the box. Takes a touch. Puts the ball in. Kamala. Kamala's went down. Won't be a penalty though. Yeah. So it's 1-0 still to Celtic. And it came to nothing. See Edward in the box again. Edward, touch, and he takes one touch too much. He was on his right foot, ready to release it, and then he puts it back on his left foot and he loses possession. But that's going to be a corner to Celtic. Quite promising here for Celtic. They have had quite a lot of possession, and it's been in and around the Aberdeen box. So we're 34 minutes in. I suppose Celtic. Who would you like to see in the Celtic permanent manager? Hi, ex-TMS Ryan. Win for Celtic. Told them it should be. They've been fantastic actually. Done really well. And I'm just passing it about just now. Scott Brown's just passing it about in midfield and telling people to come back a little bit to try and bring them in the game. Players such as Kamala and Edward. I wouldn't mind John Kennedy staying on, but I wouldn't want him to be the manager. I want a manager who's got a lot of experience. Ideally, I think Lampard would be the dream manager, but that's not going to happen. But I think if you've got Lampard, you really have to spend money, like 50 million, 30 to 50 million. And I think, only because I think that Lampard would want to really compete in Europe. I don't think he's just there to win the SPFL, to be honest. He wants to come and win titles, but do well in Europe as well. So if you're not going to support him, then he's not going to come, I would say. Eddie Howe, he's not as... hasn't played in Champions League, so it wouldn't bother him. But here we are, it's a free kick to Celtic. It's just 23-24 yards out. and Turnbull standing over it. I'll need to remember, and the free kick goes straight into the Aberdeen wall. I'll need to remember next time that I do a stream on SPFL that I've got it all set up prior. Because these, he's running at Aberdeen, because these streams are not the most reliable, to be honest. But he gets pulled down and he's shouting at his teammates, "Where were they? I was looking to give you the pass." And he's not a happy man, because he had very little support up there. So we're not long away from half time. Hopefully at half time I get this fixed. But here's Laxalt, he's got the ball again. What do we think of Laxalt? He's about to pass it to Turnbull. What do we think of Laxalt? Do you think that he'll come back for a second spell on loan? Do we think we'll try and purchase him? Here's Edward. The pass was on just to play Laxalt through, but he decides to take it and play it back to Ayer. I thought he would have let it go through to Laxalt and he could have ran on or let the ball get put in for Kamala, but he didn't. Now Graham is dealing with the chat, so hi XTMS, please like, share, comment. There's Pasang. Hi Pasang. Hi Pasang. If you all the gangs here, Pasang, TSM. Lampard is a nugget. They'd be better bringing Lennon back. Hi Stevie W. See, I don't know about Lampard, by the way. I think Lampard, I've touched on a button. I think Lampard would be quite good for Celtic. I'm not a big fan of Lampard, by the way. I really don't like him personally, but as I'm seeing here in this game, the players are playing better now. And it's not because of the tactics, it's because they're playing for themselves and maybe a slight bit playing for John Kennedy. You feel that if they've got a manager in of Lampard's stature in the game, that they would more than likely play better. I'm not saying that they would be fantastic. What I'm saying is they would play for Frank Lampard, at least in the short term. Now you're still going to lose players like Edward in the summer and stuff, but perhaps having Lampard, you could attract players. I think a lot of players would love to play under Lampard. So that's why I would bring in Lampard. Not because of his tactical, we're now 37 minutes in by the way, not because of his tactical astuteness or anything like that, but because of who he can bring in. And some of his playing style is okay. Here we see Celtic, and they're just passing it about between their defenders, so there isn't much to discuss just now, so that's what I'm talking about, chat. And Frank Lampard, I think Neil Lennon, I don't know what it was about Neil Lennon. If you're a neutral person, you're looking at it and you're saying, well, he won everything. He's one of the best managers ever to manage in the Scottish League. Here's Ayer on the run. He's one of the best managers ever to. He takes a shot and it's well saved by Aberdeen. It's one of the best managers ever to be seen in Scotland, especially in recent years. But what he did do is he did lose his team, and as Graham, because he'll be back next week. As he said in previous streams, there was a lot of people that wanted to leave the team, in particular Edward, and he wasn't allowed to leave in the summer. So that did draw quite a lot of animosity towards Lennon. So, I mean, everybody's got their own ideas and stuff. I hope that explains why I wouldn't mean Lampard. But here's Celtic on the edge of the box, and it's now 38 minutes gone, so we've got a few minutes until half time. They're just passing it in and around the Aberdeen half. But Scott Brown's just taking his time, plays the ball to Edward. Edward has come deep, puts the ball out to Kenny. Kenny looking for the 1-2, and it's lost to Aberdeen. So we could check the chat again. Hi Mark. Hi Mark. Sugar. Hi Mark. I'm actually not that Mark Aitken, Celtic 8 in a row over Rangers win league. Thoughts on Chris Sutton? Do you know, I like Chris Sutton, but don't you think that Chris Sutton's just a little bit... I don't think he would do well as a modern day manager, by the way. I think he's his approach now, Graham, I say, he's in the chat, his style would be quite strict, and I think Chris Sutton would be the same. I think he would come in and I think he would just be quite strict on the players, and he doesn't have that modern manager's touch where it's put the arm round them and listen to them and all this kind of stuff. So I think he would actually fail. I really do. I know that obviously Lampard is ex-Chelsea and stuff, but I think that, well, to some people it would matter, but who else can we really bring in that's of that calibre? I think Andre Villas-Boas has left thanks to Nietzsche. It's a yellow card to Conor McClellan, by the way, on he tackled Laxalt. So yeah, so I can understand why a lot of managers aren't wanted. Free kick to Celtic and it's wasted. I can understand a lot of players and people not wanting players from different teams like Chelsea, because the Chelsea Liverpool thing. Celtic got 8 years, won all games, one league, right? So it's still good going. Yeah, I mean, it's still good going. Celtic can be proud. Definitely, and you can't fault Neil Lennon for what he did do. He done fantastically well. He got the ball rolling. Brendan Rodgers came in. That gave Celtic and the Celtic fans a huge boost. Brendan Rodgers then left. That's a discussion for later on if you want to discuss that. And then Neil Lennon came back, but it wasn't the same. His first time round was more successful. I know that he won titles and trophies in the second time, and that's when he got the quadruple sort of thing. But the team, his interaction with the team just wasn't there as it was the first time. Here's Edward, it's on the run, and Turnbull just doesn't release the pass. I think Lennon lost the dressing room quite early on. That's just my take. I think he lost them early on, and I'll go back to my point. What of that to do with the players? Yeah, 100%. But what I'll go back to is, as well, Stevie and Mark, is Neil Lennon was in a position where he should have sold a couple of his players, and he decided to get in the way. Alright, he stood in their way. Done well over the time. Oh, he did, but he stood in the way of a lot of players. Now, I don't like saying it because I am a Celtic fan, and a lot of people won't want to say it if they're Rangers fans or Celtic fans, but these two clubs are now stepping stones into what will be the usual premiership. And if you attract a player like Ayer or Edward or Dembele or any player like that, you can't stand in their way when they choose to move on after 2 or 3 seasons. Well, that's it. Yeah, it comes at a cost, and that's what he done. He decided to stop them from moving on, and the team just turned against him, and that's why he lost the dressing room, in my opinion, was because he wouldn't allow players to go. And when you've got players like that and they're playing for you, and let's be honest here, they're playing at a level that when they come in, they're maybe a little bit below, but they've got great potential. then after a season, 2 seasons, at that point to then take that next step. And if you're not allowing them to move on, the player's going to go, well, do you know what? I'm going to force it. Edward Morton, we need a jock, steam taking a rubbish, it's all money for... Hi Edward. Well, see that's the thing, right? And it's something that was said earlier in the comments. I'll double check who said it. Someone said about Chris Sutton. It was either Stevie or it was Mark. But in the modern day, that doesn't really... I mean, I don't like all this prima donna stuff, but in this day and age, it doesn't really work. Oh, the shoots! Is that offside? It's offside. That's offside. That was lucky for Aberdeen, by the way, because that was a minute stoppage time. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be disappointed that Neil Lennon did get the boot, and I'm pretty upset with the way that a lot of fans treated Neil Lennon and the Celtic board with going to Celtic Park and doing all that, like smashing up cars and all that. I don't think that's ever excusable in any walk of life, especially football. But yeah, honestly, I'm having a good chat here. I might do some more Celtic games. He's on BT Sports, Chris Sutton. Well, that's the thing. Like, Chris Sutton became bankrupt because he had a gambling addiction. So he ended up going to that's half time. He ended up going to BT Sports, which is quite lucky, and that basically started to help him get some money back. So it'll be interesting to see. This is another thing as well. It'll be interesting to see if he was offered the job at Celtic, would he take it? Because at BT, he's got a guaranteed wage, a guaranteed job. At Celtic, he could be sacked in 3 months, and BT might not take him back. So it depends on how much debt he was in, and I do know that he applied for bankruptcy. So I would assume that most of his debt is wiped, but that's something as well that's personal. So that could also stop him from wanting to become a manager. But yeah, I mean, please like, share, comment, subscribe if you like it. I am a Celtic fan, so I do like talking about Celtic stuff, and Graham's just about to come back, so no doubt he'll say quite a few things. But I think you've got to look at, honestly, the person, not just the professional, because professionally, Chris Sutton might not be a bad decision, but personally, because of his financial woes, he won't want to lose that, and I don't know what age his kids are, so I don't know if he's in a position where he can really decide to step away from a guaranteed wage to take a gamble, because you may have high college fees, university fees, all that sort of stuff, and that all plays into it. So I think Chris Sutton wouldn't take it, even if he was offered. Now, I could be wrong, depending on his financial woes, but I would, for me, that would rule him out. Hi pal, how are you? I'm alright, Edward. How are you? Mick McCarthy, there you go, George. See, George is usually in my other streams. If you want a manager that takes on rubbish, try Roy Keane. Well, that's it. That is it. See, this is a man who's usually here. 8 games left and end of season. Rangers are away. Game got moved. Wednesday night 6 p.m. Well, that's the thing as well that me and Graham were talking about. We've got one more game against Rangers, so we really had to do something in that previous Rangers game to give us any chance of the title. But the first Rangers game, there was absolutely no passion or desire from any Celtic player in that game. Second game was very, very similar, and I was shouting at the TV, and so was Graham, just so frustrated, not because of the result or the way Rangers were playing. I don't mind if we lose. I don't like losing, but I don't mind losing as long as the team put out, as long as Celtic put out their best squad, and I'll come back to that, put out their best squad and everybody in the team plays and play well to the best of their ability. People on that park, those 2 games, were just jogging and weren't given an absolute monkeys. They just didn't care. Going back to the team as well, Lennon made a mistake when in the Champions League qualifiers he played a team that wasn't his strongest. But again, that comes back to the Edward argument about Edward leaving. So, you know, I mean, we can see quite early on that there was going to be issues, and the defence of 10 in a row was pretty much lost. So, no fans, home old firm from Canada. I think Roy Keane would be fantastic at Celtic, and I would love to see him in the dressing room. I just don't know how long he would last at Celtic Park before he got sacked. There was talk of him coming in as a coach, but that didn't materialise. No fans, home, old from Celtic places. Well, that's it. I can't wait. I can't wait until the next Old Firm fans, by the way. That's going to be absolutely bouncing. But you don't really get, I mean, we tend to forget, because I've started doing this, Jers won the league this season, Celtic next season, we'll need to fight for full 90 minutes and take no crap from our team, says Grim H. I think you're right, and you will be saying this live in camera next week, but I think the way that Celtic have played, they've not just been a disappointment to, well, there's been a disappointment to themselves first and foremost. Every player on that park, I don't even know if you can mention anybody that's got an exception, can be proud of how they played this season. Every single player played in a way that was going to give Neil Lennon the sack. Well, it is a snowflake generation. It is. But I don't think. I mean, there's going to be an appointment, and it can't be John Kennedy, because that's just the easy way out. So it has to be a recognised manager. I do think that no matter who it is, whether it's Frank Lampard or Eddie Howe or Villas-Boas or anybody, it could be anybody. A lot of Celtic fans won't be happy. I think get fans back and get Scotland government NSP terms. That honestly, Mark, you're absolutely right. By the way, you're absolutely right, because this whole. I mean, I think you could fill stadiums 25% full, or even 10%, and you would pack out. You would get the 10% at Rangers and Celtic, no problems, and you should be able to get 10,000 people in quite easily. Or if you do the 10%, 6,000 people in seated. You may have to open the gates that a little bit earlier, like an hour earlier, so you're getting everybody in sitting down and then getting them out. We have missed Forest Simple. Well, again, he's yet another player who's had not a bad season. He's not had a bad season, Edward. He's been okay, but every player for Celtic this season hasn't really done himself justice. Celtic Park and Rangers home ground can do it. Well, that's it. That's exactly what I'm saying, Mark. Exactly. See, YouTube likes it if you comment back. If you don't, you get penalised. That's why I'm talking and saying it. So that's exactly what I'm saying. You've got a stadium like Parkhead or Ibrox. You can easily put in 6,000 people. Now, that's only 3,000 each half. So you could put 2,000. I mean, you could easily put some at the back, like obviously behind the goal. So you've got a lot of space between you and your next person. And there's Stonesy 14. Hi Stonesy. Don't know who Stonesy is, but he's also a Rangers fan. But it's all right. You're welcome here. Hi Stonesy. I think the way that Aberdeen's been playing, I don't see them winning. I really don't. But yeah, honestly, if you like what you're hearing, like, share, comment. I don't usually do SPL or SPFL games. It's something that I need to discuss with Graham, and Graham can answer this. But it's something that I've been looking to do for the past little while. So I may start doing more if people are interested, and obviously because you've got the discussion side of it as well. Hi Stonesy. Scotland government MSP got it badly wrong. Well, the MSPs, they've done it. Oh, Ian, you've got a friend. Ian's still there, fellow Rangers man. But yeah, they seem to be looking at what's happening in England, and then hi TSM. They seem to be looking at what's happening in England, and then they're making their rules even stricter. So you can't do anything. And hospitality and all that sort of stuff is struggling. Give me 1 second. I thought I'm alright. I thought the cat was going to pull out the internet there. But we're going to be out of lockdown come June. Is that correct? And in England they're looking to get folk back in the stadiums well, I'm going to say this now, right? And Ian and George and TSM and Passong, all the regulars that are on, right? That could be a bad game, because if Rangers, and this is like the Stones and Ian as well, any Old Firm game always results in a lot of shouting. So you've been warned, but yeah, it's usually quite a good watch when we watch it ourselves. So bad season, we will win the league next season. Get your money on Celtic, and I'm still here. Is that when we come out of lockdown, June 21st? I honestly think Celtic will win the league next season, but they have to put their money in their pockets. They cannot sit back and go, well, we've got this big transfer kitty in the bank and we're not going to touch it. They need to start spending. Does anyone know why Dembele doesn't get many games anymore? So is it, Mark, is it UK government wide? Is it 21st? Is Scotland the same? Honestly, by the way, I know it's silly that I'm typing this out, but if I don't, then I get penalised at Scotland. So. Well, that's it. Yeah, that could actually be an interesting game, Graham, doing the Old Firm game. But there'll be zero alcohol involved in that. Like, am I watching that game while I was drinking and on camera? Because I'll end up getting banned off of YouTube, as everybody that watches the Old Firm knows that if you're drinking and watching Old Firm, there's a lot of swearing. Scotland, no. Yeah, this Sturgeon, she's been absolutely fucking terrible when it comes to this lockdown. She just doesn't want to let us out of this lockdown. She seems to be getting off on this tyranny. I mean, it's not tyranny, right? It definitely isn't, but we're so restricted. Right, I see. So like, share, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, 10 weeks left of power, and then gone, mate, absolutely gone. It'll be fantastic. It'll be a fantastic day. So yeah, it's still half time here, by the way, for the Celtic game, in case anybody's wondering. Just going to check something as well. Happy days. Well, that's it. And hopefully we end up getting out of this fucking shit show. Because that's all it is. Aye, exactly. And we've been in this situation for way too long. And if they had just done the lockdown properly the first time, we wouldn't have had to go into another one. Yeah, I agree. Who do you think will take over in Scotland? Do you think it will be still SNP, or do you think it will be Labour? Do you think SNP will shake it up and get some MSPs out, or what do you think will happen, Mark? Or anybody that's still in, Mark, Chris, TSM, all that stuff. Let's check something while I'm here. So we kicked off in the second half, and Aberdeen putting the ball up, and it's easily handled there by Celtic. So I believe I'm a minute behind actually. I'm in the 46th minute. Oh, that was well defended there by Laxalt. Aberdeen were through there. That was the last ditch tackle by Laxalt. But see, Aberdeen they're coming ahead again. They play it down the right. He's got his head up, plays it central, plays it out. Aberdeen need to get the ball in the box, and they just start playing it backwards rather than putting it in the box when they had the opportunity. And they try it there, and they're trying to claim for a handball, but it's going to be a throw in. Aberdeen had people in the box there, and instead of playing across in, Taylor decided to play it back. And here's Taylor, gets the ball in the box, and it's easily dealt with there by Celtic. And it's going to be... Nope, it was going to hit for a corner, but it bounced off the flag. So it's going to be an Aberdeen throw-in. When it's not your day, it's not your day. Great ball in though by Taylor with the throw. Rory D-lap type throw. Celtic get the ball up to Edward. Edward's chasing it. Edward's still chasing it. And the ball gets dispossessed by the Aberdeen defender and their goalkeeper. Second half's a lot more lively as opposed to the first half. And Laxalt gets fouled. Right, go back to chat. Back to chat. Still going to have a second half today. Need a second referendum. Yeah, we do. I actually would be up for a second referendum. I wonder who Labour will put into power if they do get power in Scotland. Be interesting because it's quite a shake-up government-wise, because obviously with COVID there's a lot of MPs and MSPs that are no longer in favour. So we'll see how that goes. Here's a ball up by Celtic. The old Celtic. Do we still have Stoney in the chat? Let's see if his prediction comes to fruition. Need a second goal to Cam players' nerves. A second. Yeah. Here's Edward. He's trying to beat his man, but he just takes too long and he plays it to Laxalt. Laxalt. Oh! And it's defended there by the defender, and it's been cleared. It got a fortunate bounce for Aberdeen it got a fortunate touch off of Aberdeen's head. And Celtic have it back 49 minutes gone. They're just playing it in and around the edge of the box. But we see Edward. And the ball's going to go back. So like, share, comment, all that sort of stuff if you enjoy the content. And Turnbull, he was looking to tee up the shot there, and Edward thought that as well, but he put the ball through to Edward, but Edward thought he was going to shoot, so he didn't. He wasn't anticipating the pass. But here's Edward, takes a shot, and it's just over the bar. Edward is looking to get a goal today. Aberdeen just lose the ball cheaply, just outside their own box. And it's over by Edward, and that's going to be, I believe, a goal kick. I don't think it got a touch. And we see Derek McInnes, he's a little bit agitated there, obviously saying to his Aberdeen team, squad, just to tighten up. So is everyone in here a Celtic fan, apart from Ian and Stoney? Ian's a secret Celtic fan. That's what it is. Don't let him tell you different. And the right, Ian? Is it Ian or is it Shizzle? Ian, on the right account. Ball comes in there from Aberdeen, but it's well cleared there by Kenny. Out for a corner. So it's on its way. Yeah, well that's it. Hell no. Well, that's it. I mean, I think the first time round there was a lot of people. Here's now again taking a free kick. A lot of people were misinformed, and Aberdeen is cleared off the line by Celtic. Fantastic cross there, fantastic corner there by Niall McGinn to the back post, and Aberdeen put it back across the face of goal, and I believe it was perhaps Laxalt that cleared that. Yeah. Go back to the referendum. I think, no disrespect to anybody that's of an older generation, but they voted no because they were worried about, in fact it was Kamala that cleared it, they were worried about their pensions and stuff, and they were too worried about change. So I think a lot of people in the referendum weren't properly advised on what would happen and what they'd be entitled to. But you like how Aberdeen, how England then basically stole 2 oil rigs from Scotland. And that's where the Aberdeen thing comes in. But here's Celtic on the charge. It's Turnbull, it's McGregor, it's Laxalt. He's got his head up, back to McGregor. McGregor's looking for it, and he's quite happy to take the corner. So, people that are in the chat just now, would you be happy to tune in again for more Celtic content like this, or is it not your sort of thing? You can say no, by the way, in the comments. I won't take it badly. But yeah, Celtic. And it's just cleared there by Aberdeen by the absolute skinny Taylor's teeth. But yeah, the referendum, if there's a second one, I think it will actually happen this time. I think the way that the Tories and stuff have basically divided the whole nation, not that SNP's done much better, but I think because of the way that the whole country's been divided, that any change, either whether it's Wales or Ireland or Scotland breaking away from England, they'll choose to do it. There's Ian. Ian wants to break away. Wants to break away from England. I want to break free. I want to break free. I'm not quite as good a singer as Freddie Mercury. Aberdeen are trying to get the ball up though to the Celtic half, and they're not doing it too well. Celtic are seeing these plays coming pretty much a mile off, and they're able to get the ball quite easily. Why is my TV went off? Someone turn my telly off. Let me turn it back on. There you go, someone just turned off my TV. Interesting. It's back on now. Let me see Aberdeen. They just can't really penetrate this Celtic defence. Celtic are doing quite well defensively. Do you think we'll see who am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of? 1 second to pull it up. Christie. Do you think we'll see Christie next season? Or do you think he may be do you think he might actually go to Leicester? It's Edwards trying to play the ball through, doesn't quite think. Ian, by the way, it could have been you, by the way, because that's the sort of thing that you'd do. Edwards got the ball, edge of the box, look for the 1-2. He doesn't get the return pass, so. But Celtic still got it though. The balls came in, and it's easily put out there by Aberdeen for a corner. Well, Christie. I actually believe that you are Ian outside my house turning off my telly. I actually had to look to see if it was one of my cats that had chewed the wire, but it wasn't. So it's a corner to Celtic. And they put the ball in, it's not the best, it's to the front post, it's not that good, to be honest. To be honest, George, I'd rather be anywhere other than the UK, but here's Hayes, and he's been pulled down, but it's not given as a free kick. It's it was deemed to be a fair tackle. I would like to be Duncan Bannatyne. He's in Miami just now, sunning it up. But I wouldn't mind being somewhere where there's COVID, but where I can sit in my back garden and get a nice suntan. It's probably his cats again, mate. Aye, well, my cat's turned it off the last time, so aye, it could have been. But Aberdeen are looking to make a substitution. For all the possession that Celtic have had, they've not really done that much. And there's Laxall try to take on an Aberdeen player, but he loses it. Aberdeen in the box. Hayes puts the ball in. Oh, that's just missed by Aberdeen. Is that going to be... Aberdeen are claiming for a corner and Celtic are claiming for a goal kick. It was your man Niall McGinn who puts the ball wide. It was easy to put it on target, but he puts it wide. He was getting hounded by Brown. Brown done just enough to put him off there. That's just fine. Sturgeon isn't as bad as Boris. Nobody's as bad as Boris. Well, apart from Trump. But see, Trump's a whole different discussion. Celtic, free kick, and they take it quickly. It's McGregor. And it's Brown. Brown's, yeah. Brown did look as though he was going to play it to Christie, but he didn't. And then when Christie made the run, then he decided to try and play it. So not a lot happened in the game just now. It's been pretty much all Celtic. Aberdeen have had a few breaks. Niall McGinn had quite a good break a few minutes ago, but he was pulled down, but it was deemed not to be a foul. And here's Brown. So please like, share, comment, upvote, downvote. Leave feedback if you like it, don't like it. But here's Brown, and Brown's dispossessed, and that's going to be a goal kick. What do we think of Brown? Do we think he's going to be still here next season? Do we think he's going to be still an instrumental player? Obviously, that's quite difficult to speculate when we don't even know the manager that comes in. I mean, it might be the fact that we bring in Lampard and we bring in Danny Drinkwater, and you never know what type of midfielder they could come in. They could come in and start playing with. But there's Campbell off and Hendry on. I wouldn't mind Brown staying on, but I think it's at the point now where we need to start looking for a replacement for Brown. We can't rely on Brown too much with age and all that sort of stuff. And then when he plays in the Champions League or in the Europa, that's when he's caught out. So we need to start looking at first winning the league, and then being competitive, and then try to be competitive in Europe. So that's just my thoughts, and Waxhaw's been pulled down. So I'll see who's in the chat and what is happening with everyone. So please like, share, comment, all that stuff. I'll keep losing the chat, by the way. I keep moving it. Trump was okay. You actually quite like Trump, though. I don't know why you like Trump. Wonder why you like Trump. It was quite a, I don't know, he was quite a controversial figure. Let me see Christie, let me see Turnbull. So we're 60 minutes in, and it's now Laxalt. Gets the ball back to Turnbull. Edward, Celtic have quite a lot of freedom in Aberdeen half. Aberdeen seem to be playing like school kids. They're just chasing the ball. They're not sticking to positions or looking at where the runs and that could be. It's just chase the ball, chase the ball. Kenny wins a throw-in quite high up the park. Aberdeen almost got the ball through there, by the way, to their striker. It was just Ayer who got the touch. It was quite lucky. Celtic need to try and get a goal, just to try and, as Graham says, try and stop the nerves. There's something in American water. They're nuts. They are, Edward. They are. They're fucking nuts. See, what's weird though, Aberdeen on the attack. What's weird about the Americans is, see if you try and introduce our type of healthcare, they don't like it. They start saying it. It's like communism and all that sort of rubbish. And Big Pharma loves that, because Big Pharma thinks, well, why give out free healthcare? Aberdeen put the ball in, and it had to be intercepted there by Celtic in defence, and that's what they do. Who's our Celtic player? It's not Welsh. It's the other one next to him. He got it away, but you see with America, if you try to introduce quite a lot of stuff, then they don't like it. They just say it's communism or socialism, or do you know what I mean, or tyranny or something like that. They're, as you say, they are nuts. I'm not entirely sure what they want to do. Here's Celtic about to make a substitution. I don't know. Here comes Elanusi. I don't know what America hopes to achieve, because as this COVID keeps on going is ongoing, the people that are rich just keep getting richer, and the people that are poorer just keep getting poorer. And it's quite disturbing to see that they're a first world country, yet they treat their people quite disgusting, to be honest. If you watch TV, here comes off Kamala for Elanissi. If you watch American TV, then everybody has enough money for a house, a car, healthcare, and all that sort of stuff. But the reality is, a lot of folk don't have healthcare. But yeah, Trump should run Scotland. Well, he has got a golf course in Aberdeen, so you never know. He could speak to wee Cranky and say, I want to run for MSP. There's a ball there. Aberdeen. There's not a lot happening in the second half, by the way. Aberdeen government no care about poor people, do they? Fuck. No, they don't care at all, by the way. They just, it's all about folk getting richer and richer and richer, and that's what America's famous for. They just get as rich as they can, and then they just leave people behind. If you're successful in America, you can make millions and millions, like, really, really easily. But if you're really struggling, you'll find it difficult, and it's difficult to break that social barrier as well if you're American. As well, there's a lot of classist. There's a lot of people in America that struggle because of their heritage. So it's not a country that I would want to particularly stay in. Here's Aberdeen, and to be fair, even Scotland's getting that way. I'm like, I wouldn't mind if it was sunny, but we're on lockdown and it's not even sunny. Last year when it was sunny during the summer holidays, I wasn't that bothered because I'm thinking, well, I'm working from home and I can work in the garden or from the garden, so I was getting some sun. But during the snow, you can't work outside. So we see Kamal coming off and see Elanissi going on. So hopefully that pushes Edward up further. Just in the Jag of Delta, mate. Haha, bleach. Yeah, the whole planet is in a mess. How long left? It is 66 minutes. There's a lot of time left in this game. A lot of time. Edward, the whole world is in a state of it's in a state basically. The ball through from Waxall. Aberdeen are able to get that quite easily. It doesn't get through to Elanissi. The whole planet is just in some mess. At the end of the day, we stay on an island, so we shouldn't have had a second or third wave of COVID to this extent, where we need to go into another lockdown. If we had just closed all the borders, bar essential travel or essential import-export, then we would have been fine. No, there is no clock because I keep forgetting to put it on. And on this software, I need to download an external one, and I haven't found an external one to use, so I didn't put it on. But see if you'd watched my previous streams, see on the graphic with the games, it puts there's a clock on that, but I couldn't get a graphic for this game. But do you know, like, where it says like Celtic attacking or Aberdeen attacking? But I couldn't get one. So yeah, so that's that. As I say, if it's for the SPL games or SPFL, I'll need to get a clock because I can't obviously get a diagram thing to, or a graphic. I don't even know what it's called actually. like the action thing. Can't get it to work. I can't get one to work. So, but yeah, nothing really happened in this game, by the way, like at all. You're bang on, mate. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Edward. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Come back for other games, by the way. It's always good to get some people on that are regulars. I've got a few regulars that come in and we just have some chats and stuff, some bants and that. That's what it's all about. It's not all about talking about the game. Well, it is a bit, but it's all about like chatting and stuff. So we're 70 minutes in, and Aberdeen here are trying to attack, but it's easily dealt with there by Ayer. So it's pretty much. I think Celtic are going to win this fairly easily. I don't think it's going to be much difficult getting over the line. Neil Lennon must be watching this game thinking, well, where was that performance earlier? I'm going to move my cat. Oh, cause meow, meow. I thought I'd move my cat there because my cat is well known for pulling out the internet during these streams, which would not have been good at all. Let's get back to the chat. Chat's here. You're saying about closing borders and Celtic went to Dubai. Well, that's it. I mean, that's to be discussed. And I think that's quite disgusting from Celtic because they go to Dubai and then obviously, as we discussed, they got that exemption from Sturgeon, and Sturgeon didn't know that she'd given an exception. Aberdeen have a free kick up the park, by the way. Let's see if they can make anything of this. The ball, oh, they put the ball in, and I swear to God, it goes 5 yards across the ground, easily into the Celtic wall. That was terrible by Niall McGinn. But he puts the ball in, and Aberdeen's got it! Oh, did they score? What a time from a stream, and they don't score, and they miss. Yeah, as you were saying, they missed. As you were saying, Sturgeon did give an exemption, but she didn't know she had done it, and it was our team that had given the exemption. And then as soon as they come back from Dubai, it's a case of, right, nobody else is going out to Dubai. If you go to Dubai, you're coming back and you're on 2 weeks quarantine and you're not going. So it's been an interesting, certainly been an interesting time for Celtic in the past few months. Right, let's see some.
Pela primeira vez ao minuto 51 nesta partida. Foi obrigado.
Oops, press the wrong button. Press the wrong button and I forgot that my Bluetooth was still on. But yeah, he did miss and it was easily cleared there by Ayer in the end, but he should have done a lot better. Is that? I didn't go out to play. Aberdeen can't quite believe that they didn't score that, by the way. Constantine just can't believe that he puts the ball in and just doesn't. Niall McGinn puts it in and Constantine doesn't score. But we see a Celtic free kick. I'm going to have to ensure that I've got a better stream for this next time that I do a Celtic game. To be honest, because this one is working, but it's not amazing. Edward! He's got players through, plays the ball 1-2! And Elyounoussi just can't quite get there. But Laxall picks it up. Laxall, Turnbull's looking at Scott Brown. Scott Brown plays it over to Christie and they end up going all the way back. Why are they going back? And Ayer is looking. He's looking at where he can spray the ball, but he decides just to play the ball sideways. Right, there's not a lot happening in that game, by the way. Dubai was an absolute joke. Dubai was a joke. An absolute joke, by the way. I don't. As a Celtic fan, I was quite embarrassed because people would say to you, do you know what? Like people are claiming about, people are talking about COVID and stuff, and then there's your team just going out and going over to Dubai just for a jolly. As I said, and we've got to remember as well that game, that trip to Dubai was that night or the morning after the Old Firm game. They played absolutely terrible in that game, and yet they still got a jolly in Dubai. A lot of folks says yeah, but they're there to train. Aberdeen put the ball in, and it's taken by Bain. I mean, it was easy. They could have easily have just went up the Highlands and done training for all the good it's going to do them, and did do them. So I was a little bit disappointed that that's what they did. Again, Celtic playing it from the back, and Bain almost played himself into trouble there. What you saying, Graham? Nick will never shut up about Celtic going to Dubai, but GR's players having party, nothing happens. I remember that because that was last week, the week prior, because Gerrard said he was quite embarrassed by his players breaching COVID. Yeah, I don't think see this Champions League and that, I can understand, we need a second, or it's a draw, 100% Edward, 100%, because Aberdeen will snatch it, and Celtic haven't been that good in the final third. Same people dying from COVID and Celtic were the only team. Well, that's it. See what I don't get, George. See what I don't get, right? This is to everybody in the chat, like Edward and Ian and all that. Sorrow's going to come on. How come Klopp couldn't go to his mum's funeral in Germany, yet his team was allowed to play RP Leipzig? You know what I mean? Off comes McClellan, on comes Kennedy, and Sorrow's going to come on. I don't know who for, but it might be for Turnbull. But yeah, how is that even fair? You can't go to your mum's funeral, but you can go to another country because your team's got an exemption. I know that Liverpool were playing in a bubble and stuff, but Edward just didn't quite anticipate that. If he did, he was on 1-on-1. I think that don't you think that that some of the rules that footballers get, those quite biased and quite lucky for the footballers, like they get to go abroad. They Turnbull did come off. They get to go abroad, but then they're still playing the Champions League in Europa. Now, understandable that the sponsors and the money involved is millions per year for some of these teams, and I can understand that a lot of teams would struggle without that revenue. But why are footballers allowed to then travel and normal people aren't? Because footballers, as is mentioned, they sometimes break COVID rules. Just look at Kyle Walker. He had a small get together with a friend and some ladies. And then we see Rangers, they've done it. Some other players have broken COVID rules, so it's not a case of you're in a bubble and you're guaranteed that these people won't interact with other people. These people do, and sometimes it is purposely that they do it. So, yeah, it's quite a difficult one to talk about, because everyone has a different view on COVID and lockdown and the pandemic and stuff. So, I just think that football should be as restricted as many of us. Now, keep the SPFL and the English League open, fair enough, but not the Champions League and Europa. Although my Champions League game was one of the most viewed, actually. So I can't complain too much. Barcelona PSG. Wait till they play again, that'll be a good game. You need to be famous to get away with it. Exactly, that's what it is. It is. It's all about who you are. It is. Exactly that. Exactly. It's exactly that. See if you're famous, you'll get off it. See if you're not famous, then you don't. We've got all these influencers that are over in Dubai, and they're getting a lot of hate. But do you know what? If they're over in Dubai and they're not planning on coming back anytime soon, then I don't have an issue with that. They're in Dubai where they're going to stay. Colin is famous. Exactly, Colin is famous. But Aberdeen are on the attack. And he puts the ball in and it's defended there by Watchalong. So it's going to be a corner. Corner. And it's 10 minutes to go, by the way. 10 minutes to go. Plus stoppage time. I thought that was my gate there. Now McGinn's going to take this. Now the last time he took the corner, it was a good corner and it caused a lot of trouble for Celtic. And Aberdeen get it again, but they can't do anything with it. And Celtic struggle and do get it cleared. It's going to be a goal kick to... Sorry, it's going to be a free kick to Celtic. It was only a slight touch there on McGregor, but he went down like a sack of tatties. A shack of totties. So Scott Bain takes it, pumps the ball right up the box, looking for Elyounoussi. Elyounoussi gets the ball onto Edouard. Edouard's got it. Edouard tries to put it back to Elyounoussi, and it's nowhere. He's not had the best of games, Edouard. He didn't score in the first half, but his shot did deflect off Hoban that did get the own goal. So you can so there's a lot of work here still to be done by Celtic. There's Edouard. Now Edouard's got it. Tries to beat his man. Still got it in the box. Gets taken off him. I was just going to say that Edouard and someone else were both running into the same channel, and they both almost collided. But here's it's going to be a throw-in. Throw-in to Celtic. Waxall. For me, he's my man of the match. He's been everywhere. He's done everything right. He's attacked. He's defended. He's been able to link play. And believe you me, there's not a lot of players that I can even put up there for potential man of the matches. It's been pretty poor from both sides. And Celtic just put it back out. Or did they get a touch off of Hayes? Hayes! It's always good to see an ex-Celtic player getting the game time that he deserves, and Hayes certainly is getting that. Now it's just Aberdeen throwing. Let's see what's happening in chat. Here we go, surely. He said he is. I'm famous. Here we go, surely no. Oh, Celtic, and it's played through. Why take the shot there? There was people in the box that you could have slid the ball into quite easily, and he decided to shoot from 20 yards out, but there was people in his way. Honestly, I've not been impressed with Celtic too much today. This could have been easily. See if they're up against a more rigid team. I'm going to say rigid because Aberdeen are just chasing the ball like school kids, but if we had played Rangers today, we would have been absolutely mauled. See one person not like July. Do you know what? One person's alright, by the way. I don't mind that. But like, share, comment. He's going to he puts the ball into Edouard, and Edouard just can't quite get the ball under control, but we're 83 minutes in. We see it. Scott Brown has put it to Sorrow. Sorrow's been having quite a good spell recently. Not that you can say many players have played well under Neil Lennon, but he's not had a bad spell. There's Ayer again playing the long ball to Elyounoussi. Elyounoussi in plenty of space, edge of the box, inside the box. He's got his head up, tries to play the ball, and he plays it to Aberdeen. Well, the Aberdeen defender's able to get the ball off him. I think I should have played that a lot sooner. Oh, nine likes, 1 dislike. That's alright, by the way. I like that. Not bad, that, actually. Thank you, TSM Passung, for your likes. Edward, thanks for your like. All that. It's all good. It's all good. Ball's in there by Aberdeen, and it's first touchdown. Takes a shot. Oh, Ayer just gets there in time to block what was a scissor kick by Aberdeen. I can guarantee you if that hadn't been for Ayer, that would have been 1-1. Oh, 12 likes. Thank you everybody in the chat for liking. Thank you for liking in chat. There you go. I've got 12 likes. I am famous. See, in our team, I think that we would have been beaten. I haven't been convinced that we're any better without Lennon. We got the goal early, and we've had a few spells of not playing too bad, but Edward's been not his usual. I mean, he's not been his usual self, but he hasn't been that good since really last season. Who taken their like back? Best myself. Well, it looks like everybody's taking a like back, because if I went from 9 likes to 12 likes, I've went up three likes. 3 likes and 3 licks. Graham, are you still there? If you are, just start heading down after this game. I'll jump in a quick shower. And Ian, stop turning off my telly if you're walking past. Aberdeen have a free kick, 87 minutes in. They need to try and commit men forward, which they have done. And the ball's really bad free kick. No, I don't think I'm going to do the Leeds Villa game. Grealish is still injured, and every time I do a Leeds game, it's they always get beat. I am the Aaron Ramsey. Thank you for re-liking. No, I'm going to call it after this. I'm getting quite a lot of views, and I'm starting to get people who come in quite regular and stuff. So, I mean, even although I don't know, there's maybe 10 folk who have commented and stuff, it's quite good. I'm away now on the bus. Where are you going? Are we camping tonight? Or camp in the morning? I'm away now on the bus. Where are you getting the bus to? There's Laxalt. So yeah, so I mean, it's just all. I mean, we've only been doing this myself and Graham since November, and I say Graham's back next week, so looking to keep going. I'll be doing the ones during the week though, like myself, unless Graham comes in. And here's the ball line, shoot! How did you miss? McGregor had nobody on him. He was 17 yards out, and how did you miss? I can't believe you fucking missed it. I'm away now on the bus. I think he's talking about your window, mate. Ah, right. Aye, tomorrow the bus. I thought you meant you're away just now to go on the bus. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Aye, tomorrow. Aye, so I'm going to do a game tomorrow morning. 12 o'clock. Are you doing the midweek games, Graham, or are you just doing the weekend games? Is there usually two of you? Yeah, there usually is. Most of those videos are on private because, well, I was a little bit drunk. He missed because he left-handed. You never know, by the way. That could be the reason why he's missed. I've no idea. Honestly, the goal was gaping. Someone to chase the cat, someone else to do the commentary. Is that, Graham? Bring your stick. Or bring your banjo to scare the cats. So 2 minutes of stoppage time. I honestly think it was you, Ian, outside my window, because it just went off, like, mysteriously. And we see Sorrow's got the ball, but he's lost it in the edge of the box, but he's got it back, and now Celtic are on a counter attack. 90 minutes and 40 seconds. Edward now, 1-on-1. What's he going to do? Shoot! How? Oh, mate, how bad can you be? 2 chances in 3 minutes. And I'm saying 3 minutes because I'm being generous. And absolutely... Can you see me, Tona? That should have been 2-0, by the way. That should have been game over. Aberdeen try to put the ball in the box. It's 20 seconds to go. Stoppage time. And we see El Nusse's picked it up and he's just passing it about. He's taking his time. Now he's decided to take it on a little charge. Ball to the right wing. McGregor just takes it into the corner flag. So we're 92 minutes in, so we've already played the stoppage time. Can the rest of you see me? I can see myself on my TV. I'm watching it on TV as well. I can see myself on TV. And there's Celtic. The game finishes 1-0. John Kennedy gets his managerial career off to a winning start. However, it was very fortunate, and I'm saying very fortunate because Celtic have a long way to go if they want to get back to a position where they're even challenging Rangers next season. And it's not just to do with personnel, it's the whole attitude in the dressing room needs to improve. So I'm going to say thanks for everybody that's joined. Everybody that's joined and commented and liked and shared and subscribed and all that stuff. It's been a really good match, a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. The the chat was good anyway. Until next time, which will be tomorrow. And Graham's just start heading down.